So we've been on set for this high fashion magazine shoot, learning different techniques and really getting a glimpse at what we're going to be diving into in this course. Now I want to talk about one of the most important parts of creating a video, which is getting coverage. These techniques that we've touched on help you to get shots looking a certain way, but really getting multiple angles, shooting the same action in multiple different ways, and getting as many usable shots as possible is key to having enough ingredients to work with when you get to the post-production phase. So let's take a look at what the shots Luis is shooting. So all of these shots, what makes them unique is they're using the fundamentals from this course. For what we were shooting specifically, it's a short, entertaining, and exciting fashion magazine video. So if everything was on a tripod with no movement, it would be a pretty boring video. But what Luis decided to do was to use the clothing and the character as the main focal point with dynamic lighting and an interesting background, and create excitement and action through the camera movement. Some of the shots here are very traditional, framed on the thirds, and some of the other shots are very non-traditional. That creates unique imagery that stands out. So the goal here, like I mentioned, is really to enhance what's in front of the camera. If you're shooting a talking shot on an iPhone with a tripod and it's just you standing in front of the camera, what kind of lighting and background can you use to make that more uniquely yours? If you're shooting a high-end fashion video, what kind of camera movement and framing can you use to make your average-looking shots really stand out? Even like choosing your background properly. It can be just as important as the subject or the main focus of your image, because it's also changing the way that we perceive what is on camera. Two different shots, same subject and outfit, same movement, different backgrounds, different experience. And when we're using these things, we're making sure to shoot multiple takes and multiple angles. This is gonna help you carve your story later on in the editing process. The more coverage you have, the more of a story you can tell, things that are important. And for this kind of example that Luis is doing is creating a lead-in shot with movement. You see, we're not really framing anything on the thirds. There's no special rules that we're following here, but we're moving the subject into frame. And this gives us kind of a cool intro into a shot, which really makes it stand out. It's also giving us more to work with in our edit. Little things like this really add more options for us later on and allow those extra little moments that you have recorded to create a more dynamic video. And now we're tracking with our subject. We're moving with our subject. And this is something I'm really excited to get into, which is effectively using camera movement. And that wraps it up for our mini on-set crash course experience. Again, I wanted this to be a really cool way to get the ball rolling, give you a real life look at some key techniques that you're gonna walk away with as you progress through this course.